What a wild, blessed time to live in. Coldplay at one point were like, maybe we're gonna retire, hang it up, but now 4 years later, we finally have a new album on the way, 2 brand new songs, let's talk about it. Hey neighbor, welcome back to Beyond ARTV. My name is John and it's time for a double track review. Ooh, co-lead singles. It's been done by many artists in recent years, but co-lead singles for a double album, it really makes sense. We obviously know that Coldplay are back, the alternative rock group from the UK, massively popular. They're one of those groups that I feel a lot of people just don't like for some unknown reason, but they're actually one of my favorite bands. In fact, they'd probably be in my top 10 at this point. I know that's saying a lot, but I've always put stock and faith in them, and Coldplay deliver once again with a pair of new singles, Orphans and Arabesque. These are songs that definitely see them stepping outside of the limits of what a lot of people think they could do, or maybe they know them for. I think that Coldplay have always kind of surfaced above that in a lot of ways that people just don't recognize. The whole Viva La Vida album was incredible, my personal favorite from them. It's one of those albums that took on a concept and did it in a way that it didn't feel pretentious or anything, and they just nailed a lot of different really moody instrumentation. And here, they celebrate life, but also they talk about the punishments that life gives us, even though we didn't deserve it. And I think that Chris Martin and the rest of the crew got a look at that on their tour for A Head Full of Dreams. They saw the world, they saw the pain that people were feeling, and they took that and put it into songs that might feel joyous, especially Orphans. It also has an underlying darkness because of the lyrical themes, and I love how they're able to tie things together. For as one-noted as some people think the band are, I think their output in the 2010s decade has been extremely varied. I mean, you had Milo Xyloto, which was a record that had a concept running all throughout it. Even though it is my least favorite from Coldplay, I still don't think they have a bad album per se. Ghost Story's a fantastic breakup record, and then also we had the very cathartic and freeing A Head Full of Dreams in 2015. So 4 years later, I think Chris Martin and the group have taken time to reflect. They've enlisted a lot of different collaborators, although these feel like organic collaborations, especially since it's not like featuring this or this, and it doesn't feel like it was done for commercial purposes. You still have Rick Simpson producing alongside some of the other co-producers of the track. You've got extra vocals on some of these cuts that actually do fit in quite nicely. Even Max Martin being involved in Orphans. These are a pair of tracks that are going to go down very differently from each other, but I can see them working in the overall concept of the sunrise-sunset theme within the double album of Everyday Life. Let's talk about Arabesque first, since it appears on the first disc of the album and the track list, 8 songs on each side. I love how they announced that in a newspaper. That was kind of clever. But we do have this song that I didn't know the definition of right away. I hadn't seen the word, so I looked into it, and there are multiple different definitions. It could mean something for ballet, a term referring to posture. It can also be an ornamental design that's known in Arabic countries. And then you also have in music a passage or composition with fanciful ornamentation of the melody. And I think that that's mainly what it's referring to here, the musical composition. This is a wild ride that I don't think most people would expect from Coldplay, but oh my god, the joyous expressions, also the kind of tense mood that this track builds up is incredible. It's unnerving. There's background vocals from Stromae, an artist that I have listened to before. In fact, he appeared on like one of the Hunger Games soundtracks a while back, and that was my introduction to his music. I think that he does a great job sounding good alongside Chris Martin, but also some of the guitar slides that they work in the background, and obviously we have to talk about all of the brass on this track, from the trumpets to that sax solo that just goes freestyling all over the place. The outro of this song is kind of incredible. It just kind of melts everything back down, and what it boils down to is that this song is about everybody being the same, a message that apparently we need to hear more now than ever. Just look at who's in charge in some of our countries, not only the US, also the UK, Brazil. There's a lot of hateful people in positions of power, and for this song to come across and not feel preachy, the same goes for Orphans, I would say. It's a great task for them to actually check off and do, because this song does feel very genuine, and it boils down to those final lines, same fucking blood. And you know if Coldplay are letting the F-bomb fly, they mean it. The opening lines pretty much sum up the entire feeling of the song, and I think it's done so well. It's just a great reminder. I could be you, you could be me, two raindrops in the same sea. We didn't ask to be born, to the color of our skin, to our origin of nationality. There's nothing that we necessarily asked for. We were just born into this world. But it doesn't change the fact that nobody is better than anybody else. Nobody is different from anybody else. We're all human beings. And I think that peace could be an achievable thing if we just get past that, and I think that Coldplay do a good job at pushing that message. Again, I cannot stress enough how epic the finale of this song is, but I do want to move into Orphans. This is the catchier, the poppier of the two songs. I do think that the chorus, the way that the vocals almost feel like children singing in a way, the way that they're just like, I wanna know. I mean, it's really catchy, but it did catch me off guard. It did take a little bit of getting used to because it felt a bit irritating at first, but I did get past that. I would say 5-6 listens, I really started jamming out to this tune. I think they're about on par with each other, the two tracks that they released, although they're vastly different. I like the little world that this feels contained in. It also talks about people who were in real life peril in Syria, people who lost their lives. It's not just a concept record here, it's not a concept song. These are real life things that actually, unfortunately, happen, but it talks about kind of building back up the ruins from all of this. When can I go back and get drunk with my friends again? When can I be young again? When can I have the freedom to have this burden off of my shoulders so that I can live life like a young person is actually supposed to? These are the things that we are definitely privileged to probably not know, especially if you're watching this video. I know it's hard to probably relate to some of those people's perils, even myself included, but still, it's nice to have that reminder, that gentle little push there, because Coldplay have always been a very philanthropic band, somebody that do a lot with their platform for charity. I respect the hell out of them, and seeing Chris Martin's interview with Annie Mac, it just further doubled down my feelings on that. I think this new album is going to be awesome. Once again, Coldplay have never really disappointed all that much, even though sometimes their music, it could be like a little tweak. You just have to adjust the dial and you're like, oh, I get it. I hadn't adjusted it all the way and the radio was coming in staticky, but now I see it in full color. And I think that's what's going to be the case for a lot of people with these songs. I like the way they're marketing it. They got the whole Dixie band from 1919 going on with the marketing and the album cover, which again is really nice. And I think a lot of the worldwide fans just all across the globe are really going to appreciate the inclusion here. It feels like they're weaving together elements of British music, American, but also maybe a little bit over the seas, dabbling in Arabic, French, a few other things. It's very nice. And overall, for both of these tracks, I'm going to rate Orphan a 4 and Arabesque a 4.5 because I love the towering instrumentation on that song and the powering vocals as well. It can be understated, but also overpowering. I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section down below. Keep in mind, it's all just my opinion and takeaway, so if you enjoyed or hated the new Coldplay songs, I would love to know why. Join the discussion down below. I'm very excited to see what this new Coldplay album is going to hold when it releases. Everyday Life, November 22nd. If you want to see another Coldplay review from me, then tap this card here, or tap here for another recent track review. All of my social media accounts, including my Patreon, if you'd like to help support what I do, can be found in the description. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, join the neighborhood, and I will see you soon for more right here on Beyond ARTV.